You know the old saying, when two elephants fight, it's the grass that suffers. Well, in the global economy, those elephants are countries. The grass is your wallet, and the fight, oh, that's a trade war. And let me tell you, these things are about as subtle as a rampaging rhinoceros in a china shop. We're talking tariffs, barriers, and a whole lot of economic chaos that ends up costing you, the average person, way more than you might think. So buckle up, because we're about to unpack this mess and see exactly how trade wars take a hefty chunk out of your hard-earned cash. All right, imagine walking into a store and bam! The price of everything you normally buy, from that imported cheese you love to the very phone in your pocket, has skyrocketed. That's the joy of tariffs, folks. See, when countries slap these extra charges on imported goods, guess who ends up footing the bill? You. Companies aren't just going to eat those costs, they're going to pass them right along to you, the consumer. And as if that wasn't bad enough, domestic producers, seeing an opportunity to cash in on the chaos, might also jack up their prices. Suddenly you're stuck in price hike city, population you, and your rapidly dwindling bank account. Picture this. You're putting together a jigsaw puzzle, but some jerk keeps swiping pieces and demanding ransom money for their return. That's basically what a trade war does to global supply chains. These intricate networks of manufacturers, suppliers, and distributors rely on the smooth flow of goods across borders, but slap on some tariffs and suddenly that flow becomes a trickle. Your favorite car manufacturer can't get its hands on those imported microchips. Your coffee shop's Ethiopian beans are stuck at the port, and your wardrobe refreshes on hold because those snazzy Italian shoes are now a luxury item. It's a mess. And just like that poorly constructed house of cards, the whole system starts to crumble. Here's a newsflash. Trade wars rarely end with one country meekly accepting tariffs. It's more like a playground spat where someone throws sand and the other kid retaliates with a fistful of gravel. Country A puts tariffs on country B's steel, bam. Country B retaliates with tariffs on country A's soybeans. It's a vicious cycle of economic one-upmanship. And guess who gets caught in the crossfire? Exporters, those brave souls trying to sell their goods abroad, suddenly find themselves facing higher costs and shrinking markets. It's like trying to sell ice cream in a blizzard. A recipe for economic frostbite. Imagine trying to run a business when the rules of the game could change at any moment thanks to the whims of politicians playing economic chicken. That's the joy of uncertainty, the unwelcome guest at every trade war party. Businesses thrive on stability and predictability, but trade wars throw a giant wrench into those plans. Companies become hesitant to invest, expand, or even hire because who knows what tomorrow might bring. Will there be new tariffs, retaliatory measures? It's like trying to navigate a maze blindfolded. Eventually, you're going to bump into a wall. Remember those job losses we talked about earlier? Well, they're not just limited to those directly affected by tariffs. Oh no, these things ripple outward like a bad economic earthquake. As businesses struggle with higher costs, reduced exports, and that ever-present uncertainty, layoffs become inevitable. Factories close, shops shutter, and suddenly people are out of work. And it's not just blue-collar jobs on the line. White-collar workers in finance, logistics, and management feel the pinch too. It's a painful reminder that the human cost of trade wars is far greater than any spreadsheet can capture. Trade wars aren't just about economics, they're about power, pride, and a whole lot of political posturing. And just like any good playground brawl, they have a nasty habit of escalating. Countries dig in their heels, alliances fray, and the rules-based international order that's kept things relatively stable for decades starts to crumble. Suddenly, we're not just talking about tariffs on soybeans, we're talking about geopolitical tensions, military build-ups, and a world on edge. It's a dangerous game, and the stakes couldn't be higher. So, there you have it. The ugly truth about trade wars. They're messy, unpredictable, and ultimately they hurt everyone involved. Sure, some might argue that tariffs protect domestic industries, but at what cost? Higher prices for consumers, disrupted supply chains, job losses, and a world teetering on the brink of instability. Doesn't seem like a winning strategy, does it? In the end, cooperation, negotiation, and maybe a healthy dose of economic common sense are far better tools for prosperity than tariffs and trade wars. Because when it comes to the global economy, the only thing a trade war guarantees is collateral damage. And that damage, well, it usually ends up right back in your wallet.